Welcome back to the Mindful Melbourne Maker podcast. Hello, my name is Kath and I'm a knitter, knitwear designer and all-around maker living in Melbourne, Australia. This is episode 19 and it's November 2025. This is my YouTube channel where I share all about the things that I've been knitting and making. You can find me on Instagram as Mindful Melbourne Maker or on Ravelry as kathsmartin. You'll also find my knitting patterns for sale on Ravelry under kathsmartin designs. The details for everything that I'll talk about today you'll find down below in the description box, so just click on see more. And please feel free to like this video and subscribe to the channel if you don't want to miss any further videos. I do love hearing from you, so please also feel free to comment. So it's been a couple of months since my last proper podcast episode, but I did put out a series of videos in October for the Mystery Knit-along, the West Knits Mystery Knit-along. So if you haven't watched those, they're a bit of fun and they're not too long, so go and check them out. But this is episode 19 and this is all about the things that I've finished, a couple of new patterns that I've released and some lovely yarn that I've managed to acquire, and I'm also going to give you a sneaky peek of my advents later on, so stay tuned for that. So what's been happening? I've been insanely busy at work. It's been really crazy busy at work. And on top of that, I've also been doing a company directors course at the moment. So I'm in my sort of 4th week of that. I've got one more week and then I've got a bunch of assessment around that. So just feeling like I'm spread very thin at the moment. I don't have a lot of time for knitting, but I am getting a little bit in here and there, which is good. So since the last episode, I think in that episode I had just released my Perth Socks, which was very exciting, and a bunch of you bought that pattern, so thanks very much. So since then I've actually released 2 more patterns. I'm on a bit of a roll at the moment. So the first one was my Melbourne Shawl pattern. So that's my very first shawl pattern, which was very exciting. So that got released last month. And then last week I released the Adelaide Socks, which is my very first Advent pattern. I was very excited about them, and I'll show you both of those things when we get to my finished objects. So they were both very exciting, but I also have another release happening in the next day or so, which by the time this video is out, it's probably been released. And that is my second Advent pattern release for this year, which is the Outback Christmas shawl. There's a bit of a story around that one, so I'll also tell you all about that when we get to my works in progress. So I'll tell you more about all of those. In terms of what else is going on, my next kind of lot of patterns will begin testing soon. So these are the patterns that are part of the Bendigo Project next year, so very excited about that. So there's a lot of work going into that at the moment with myself and my fellow designers that are a part of that collaboration. And you will have seen, if you're following along on Instagram or Facebook, or if you've had a look at our website, you will have seen that we've had another designer join us in that collaboration, and that's Shelley Husband. So next year in the Bendigo Project, you're going to have knitting options and crochet options, which is very exciting. So welcome, Shelley. Yeah, so those my patterns as part of that will be testing soon. And my as I said, I did the Mystery Knit-along shawl, the West Knits Mystery Knit-along, in October. So that's almost entirely what I knit on for the entire month of October, which, if you know anything about me, you know that would be a shock to my system to only be knitting on one thing. But everything else that I knit on here and there in October was actually secret things that I can't tell you about, or I can't show you because they're Bendigo Project things. So yeah, more about those later. So something I did mention in the last episode was that I was getting close to 2,000 subscribers, so I encouraged you all to subscribe. And since that last video and my October videos that came out, I've gone well over 2,000 subscribers, which is very exciting and a bit of a milestone for the channel. So huge thank you to all of you that have subscribed and that watch my videos, for all the love and support that you show me. So I do have, I promised a giveaway, so I do have an exciting giveaway for you as part of this episode. So the lovely Susan from Ash and Eve Designs, I purchased a bundle of hers that was available for Knit for the Girls, which was a fundraiser that was run by Karina from Louie and Lola for breast cancer research. So I bought her bundle, which I'll show you a bit later. But Susan also sent me a couple of little things as a bit of a donation to the channel to serve as a giveaway for all of you. So the prize for the giveaway for the 2,000 subscriber is this beautiful mini set from Ash and Eve Designs. So that's the label there. And it's the Hope Blooms mini set, which I think is very fitting that I would be giving away a pink mini set on my channel because I'm all about the pinks. But it's that mini set and also a breast cancer ribbon badge, and also some lovely breast cancer ribbon stitch markers, both from Susan as well. So that is the giveaway prize. So all you need to do for the giveaway is make sure that you are subscribed, like this episode, so tick the like button, and also leave me a comment. So the leaving me a comment is the most important part. Leave me a comment, any comment, preferably a nice comment, a positive comment, but I'll take any comment. Leave me a comment and you will go into the draw for that giveaway prize. I will draw that and announce it on my next episode of the podcast. But there can only really be one winner of that. So as a thank you to everyone who watches my episodes, I wanted to sort of say thank you to everyone as well. I will have a discount code that is available now for until Friday the 12th of December. So from now until then, so a couple of weeks, there's a discount code for you to buy any of my patterns for 10% off. So use this code, thanks10, to get the discount, and this includes all of my new patterns as well. So just as a thank you to everyone, but also don't forget to subscribe, like and comment to go in the draw for the giveaway prize from Ash and Eve Designs. And a huge thank you to Susan for that very, very kind donation. So I think that's all the admin. So why don't we get stuck into finished objects? Okay, finished objects. I have 4 finished objects to show you today, and 3 of them are shawls. So I don't know how that happened, but that's how it is. So the first finished object you saw as a work in progress in my last episode, and that is my second sample of my Melbourne shawl. So this is it all finished. Oh, it's a bit scrunched up. But yeah, this is my second sample of my Melbourne shawl. So this was one of my most recent pattern releases, and it was my first shawl pattern. So that's it there. It's a beautiful asymmetrical triangle shape that's garter stitch from tip to tip. Very rhythmic. It's got a different rate of increases to decreases, which gives you that really nice asymmetrical shape, which is really, really good to wear. It doesn't fall off, it doesn't fling over your shoulders. It's really, really great. And it's a beautiful 2-color shawl. So this sample is the large size. It also comes in a small size. So the small size is 2 skeins. The large size is 2.5, 3 skeins. But it's a 2-color, so it gives you this beautiful transition of color. And this This shawl I cast on the 13th of August and I finished it on the 1st of October. So what did I use? I used Avely Finnsheep 8-ply, which are those really big skeins, and it's the 200-gram skein, and the colour, it's this pink colour, and it's the colour Larch 9. So I used that as my sort of main colour. And then the second colour, you can see the fluff, the halo that's going on in this beautiful coppery brown colour. This is 2 yarns held together. It's a fingering weight held with a silk mohair. So the fingering weight is Life in the Long Grass twist sock fingering in the colour Autumn, and it's held with a Fibresmith mohair in the colour Auburn, and it gives this absolutely beautiful kind of bronze, sort of burnt caramel colour that almost shines. It's really, really pretty. So those were my yarns. I used a 5mm needle, which of course is the needle in the pattern, and yeah, it's a lot of fun. So what else? There's lots of guidance and details in the pattern, so you can adjust the size however you like, depending on your the yarn that you have, how many grams or how many meters you have. The pattern gives you lots of guidance about how to adjust the size so that you can use up as much of the yarn as you possibly want to, so you don't get lots of big chunks of leftover yarn, which is great. And it's also a really quick pattern to knit up, so it's perfect for gift knitting as well. If you don't want to make a hat or other sort of smaller things, this is actually a really good gift knitting pattern. So that is my finished Melbourne shawl, and that is one of my most recent pattern releases, and if you use that code from before, you can get 10% off this pattern as well. So that's my first finished object. So my second finished object you will have seen before if you watched my mystery knit along videos, but I will quickly show it now. So this is my Marled Magic Shawl by Stephen West. So this one I showed as a work in progress in the last video, and I since finished it. It is I'll show it here. So this is the shawl. It's absolutely ginormous. It's got that really fun braid down the middle. It's a modular knit shawl, so it's much like the Vertices Unite in terms of it having lots of different sections, but this one, each section is a different texture, and I've done it as different rainbow colors. It's a great scrappy project because you're marling everything, so you're holding lots of yarns together, and it's got this beautiful I-cord border finish all the way around the edge. So this was the Mystery Knit Along shawl from Stephen West in, I think, 2017. And I'm going through the process of knitting all the previous Mystery Knit Along shawls because I really like doing that. And this one I thought would be perfect because it's essentially a DK weight gauge, so it actually knit up relatively quickly. Although I did take a year to knit it. So I cast on last year on the 10th of November. And I finished it just before this year's MCAL started. I finished it on the 23rd of September. So I was kind of motivated to finish it, which was great. So I think I used the needle in the pattern, or I went up one size. I can't remember. But all of my details are in my project page, which is linked below. I think my favourite section is this fluffy brioche section, which I showed you last time. It has mohair and sparkly yarn, and it's just delightful. But I really, really enjoyed it. I held mohair with the I-cord border all the way along, and it's absolutely beautiful. So this is definitely our winter shawl because it is heavy and it is huge, but it's going to be so cozy to wrap up in winter, which it is not winter right now, but in winter, and it's just a beautiful pop of colour. So as I said, in terms of the yarn, this was Scrappy, so I just used as many leftovers and minis and in all the fluoro bright colours that I could find, essentially. There was some My Creative Garage, there's lots of lovely little yarns, and there's a bunch of other yarn in there as well. But it was really, really fun, and I really recommend this one. It really was a lot of fun to knit. So that was my second finished object, and I think the next Mystery Knit-Along shawl that I'll cast on in terms of those historical ones, I'm thinking will be Slipstravaganza, because I haven't done that one. What do you think? Am I biting off more than I can chew? We'll see. I have enough whips at the moment, but you never know, I might get the urge. So yes, so that was my second finished object. My third finished object you've also seen if you watched my MusiKAL videos, but if you didn't, you won't have seen this before at all. So this is my Mystery Knit-Along shawl from this year. So this is my Mystery MusiKAL shawl from Stephen West. I named it my Wicked Mystery MusiKAL because Wicked was my theme. So as I do every year, I picked out a theme of movies that I've been enjoying recently that I thought the colours would inspire me for this shawl. So that's I'll put my inspiration pick here. So you can see that was my inspiration for this shawl, and I got yarns that matched my theme. So I bought yarn from Ash and Eve Designs in the Posh Sock. So the colorways were Briar Grove, which was the dark green, Poisoned Petal, which was a sort of deeper pink, Pink Lemonade, which was the light pink, and Morning Moss, which was the sort of brighter green. And I also used silk mohair from Ash and Eve in those same colors, and I used a silk mohair from Maximoo yarns in the color Chlorophyll, which was a fluoro green. But with all of that yarn, I made this shawl. This was my finished Mystery MusiKAL shawl by Stephen West. So here it is here, all finished, and I'll pop some video and other pics in a sec so you can see the whole thing. But this was an adventure. So if you want detailed commentary and notes on this, go check out those other videos that I've popped up. But essentially it was a lot of knitting, it was a lot of brioche, but it was really fun, as his shawls always are. You learn a lot, you learn what you like, you learn what you don't like, but yeah, it was a lot of fun. So the clue 1 was these scallops, clue 2 were these wavy squiggles here, clue 3 was over this side. It was really fun. So it was this kind of harlequin checkerboard and these slip stitch kind of bricks, and then clue 4 was the very long, very big brioche border all the way along. So what did I do? So I used that yarn. I cast on the 2nd of October, so that was the very first day of the Mystery Knit-Along, and I finished it on the 4th of November, so just over 1 month, which was, I felt like was a huge feat given how busy I am at the moment, but it was pretty much all I knit on in October, and it was very much spurred along and motivated by the Mystery Knit-Along chat group that I have in my Instagram, which was a lot of fun. So that was fun to knit along with a whole bunch of other people that were knitting it. We helped each other, we motivated each other, and troubleshooted for each other as we went through. So yeah, it was a lot of fun. I used 3.75mm needles. I think the pattern said 3.5, but I am a tighter knitter than Stephen West, so I always go up one size. And yeah, and this was the finished shawl, which I've already worn a couple of times, and it is a lot of fun to wear. So when you wear it, it tends to kind of show all the different sections, and yeah, they're all really, really beautiful. So yeah, it was a lot of fun, a lot of variety, and you really do learn a lot. So that was my third finished object. And then my fourth finished object is actually my latest pattern release that was released last week. So this is my very first Advent pattern, which if you know me, you know I absolutely love Advent knitting. It's one of my favorite types of projects, and so the thought of designing an Advent pattern, or in fact two, I was very, very motivated. So this is my latest pattern in my Australian City sock collection, and it's the Adelaide Socks. So these are the socks. So there's actually two, and you'll see they're slightly different, and I'll explain why. So it's essentially a beautiful kind of sampler sock. There's 12 different sections for each foot, and it each has, well, there's 6 different textures, and so for each section you're doing different colors, different textures, and these socks are designed for Advents. So you can either use, as I've done here, a 24 color Advent, or you can use a 12 color Advent and have both socks matching, or you can just grab minis or leftovers from your stash, or you can do what some of my test knitters did and actually knit them all in one color, and they look sensational. So it's designed for Advent, but you can actually use any yarn you like and they look great. So Adelaide Socks. So why is my Adelaide Socks pattern an Advent pattern? So my family, my extended family, lived in Adelaide when I was growing up, and we didn't live in Adelaide. So we used to travel to Adelaide every Christmas and do the rally run. So go and see all of the relatives for Christmas, and we used to have Christmas in Adelaide. And that was my Christmas. So when I thought about designing a pattern for Adelaide Socks, immediately I thought of Christmas, and I just thought, wouldn't it be fun to have an Advent pattern? So that's what I designed. And so it's all very easy texture or lace or little cables. Some of the textures you'll note are sort of harking back to some of my other city sock patterns, so it's kind of brought in some of the really great textures from other patterns, but also there's some really brand new fun textures in here to my patterns. And then the cuff and the heel have tiny but very easy cables, which just makes the socks really, really fun, really fancy, and they're great Christmas Advent knitting project. So they're the Adelaide Socks. So I used a 2.25mm needle, so US 1. This is the medium size. It's very customizable in terms of size, and all of the instructions for doing that are in the pattern. What else? Oh, I cast these on the 14th of June and I finished them on the 13th of November. So a bit longer than my usual pair of socks, but that's because I was kind of designing as I went. A lot of work went into this pattern, a lot of work, and the testers had a really, really fun time with it. So a huge thank you to all of my testers, because they really showed me the different ways this could be knit, the different yarn you could use, and they just had a lot of fun, and they all said it was very addictive and they'd be making more pairs. So that's a lot of fun. So what yarn did I use? Because isn't this yarn spectacular? So this is actually leftovers from an Advent that I had a few years ago from Knit or Dye. So she's a yarn dyer in Australia, and I knit up a beautiful Helen Stewart shawl, or either Helen Stewart or Amber O'Brien, I can't remember. But these were the leftovers, and so when you have a 24 colour Advent that you're using, you only need to use 3.5 grams approximately for each section. So you only need a tiny little bit, so you can absolutely use leftovers. after you've knit something else, which is a great way to use up your tiny little bits of leftovers. And the other yarn I used was this sandy colour in the cuffs and heels. This is Prosper Yarns Prosper Sock in the colour Sand, which I used in one of my previous Stephen West shawls from a few years ago. So very much a scrappy project, but they don't have to be. They can be all one colour. But those are my Adelaide Socks, and that pattern is out now. And if you use the discount code from earlier, you can get 10% off. So yeah, so those are my 4th finished object. I've also finished a bunch of other things, but they are all samples for my Bendigo Project patterns. So that's been a lot of the things that I've been working on, and with the MusiKAL also taking up all of my October, that's all my finished objects for the last couple of months. So yeah, I can't show you any of those Bendigo Project patterns yet, but the release date for that collection and those patterns is in March next year, so something to look forward to, because there'll be a really fun knit along for all of those as well. I did want to show you, I do have a couple of works in progress, not many that I can show, but I thought I'd show a couple of them because I have made a little bit of progress. So the first one is in this Patil Knits marshmallow bag that I did not make. I bought it from Patil Knits, but the pattern for making this bag, for sewing it, is available to buy. And this is my Boneyard Shawl by Stephen West. I am knitting this up in Lovely Little Yarns, who unfortunately does not dye anymore, but this is the Simply Marvellous colorway on the Lovely Sock base, which is an 80/20, and it's this colorway here, which is absolutely spectacular. And here is my Boneyard Shawl, which I have not finished the row, but that's okay because it's too big to actually show anyway. So this is where I'm up to. So it's a triangular shawl, and so that's the, how do I show this here? That's the where you start is in the middle here, and you do 4-way increases to get a beautiful triangular shape, which I can't show you because I'm halfway through a row. Very bad planning. But the amazing news is that I am almost finished. So I'm on my very last section before I start the border. So I've only got a few more rows, and then I'll be starting the border. The border is all garter, so just knitting. So that's going to be amazing. So yeah, so this one I'm very, very pleased. The color is spectacular. And I cast this on the 26th of May, so I'm very pleased to be almost finished. This is the shawl that I'm knitting along with my friend Judy, or I was knitting along. She finished. Hers is spectacular. Well done, Judy. So that was our bestie Boneyard Shawl Cal. But yes, so that I'm almost finished, and I'll definitely be finished before my next episode. So that motivates me to get it done. I am using 3.5mm needles, which I think is actually what's recommended in the pattern. If you recall, I actually started this pattern accidentally using 3.25mm needles, and I was wondering why it felt so tight. I think in hindsight I would have gone up to a 3.75, but I like the tension as it is, so I've just stuck with the 3.5 for now. It's very relaxing, very rhythmic, but the rows are quite long now, so I can only, in one sitting, I can really only do a couple of rows at a time, particularly given how busy I am. So yeah, so that is my Boneyard Shawl by Stephen West. And the second whip that I'm going to show you is the last whip I'll show you. Now, this is my pattern that is coming out in actually tomorrow, but by the time this video comes out, the shawl should be out, so you can go and get this pattern now. This is the Outback Christmas shawl, and it's my second advent pattern for this year, and I'm very excited about it. It's a wonderful collaboration that I've done with Bella from Craft by Bella. So Bella reached out to me and she was test knitting my Melbourne shawl, and she reached out to me and said a shawl similar to this would be a really great idea for an advent. And I said, leave it with me. And then got back to her, and yeah, she was putting out an advent this year because she's a yarn dyer, Craft by Bella. Go check her out. She was putting out an advent, a 12 color advent, and she was looking for someone to collaborate on to do a pattern that could be included in her advent. So for anyone that's bought Bella's advent this year, you will also be getting my pattern as part of that advent. But the good news is that the pattern is also available for anyone else to buy. So it is an advent shawl. It's designed to be knit up in 12 color 12-day advent, but of course you can use any yarns you like. If you have minis lying around, if you've got leftovers, if you just want to knit it in one color, all of that is completely fine. So I will show you some photos of the finished shawl because I have a work in progress. So this is in a bag that I bought from the lovely Danny from a Knitter's Suitcase. So Danny is one of my friends that I go to Bendigo with, and she has a YouTube channel as well, so go check her out. And she makes project bags that you can buy, and I bought this bag last year off her, which is a lovely Christmas bag. I thought that was quite relevant given that this is a Christmas knit. So that's the bag that it's in, but I won't show it to you yet because I have to do a thing. So firstly I'll show you some photos of my Test Knitters finished shawls. So essentially it's a fingering weight shawl. It's on 3.75mm needles, and it's the little sister to the Melbourne Shawl. So it's fingering weight rather than DK. There's also one size because it's designed for 12-day yarn advent, but there's lots of details, measurements, grams, everything in there so that you can adjust the shawl to suit whatever yarn you have. And you can use whatever combination of yarn you have. It's the relaxing garter stitch with eyelets breaking up each section, so you can use a main skein if you have one, or you can just use your other yarn for the eyelets. And all the maths is done for you so that you can make adjustments and things as you go. So I have almost finished my sample, but the problem is that my sample is knit up in Bella's advent yarn for this year. So we're going to do a thing. I'm going to show you, and when I edit this, I'm going to hopefully turn it black and white, because what I don't want to do is spoil the beautiful colours that are going to be a lovely surprise for all the people that got Bella's advent. If I can't work out how to do that, I'll just cut that section out and you won't see the shawl. But let's have a go. So here is my almost finished work in progress of my Outback Christmas shawl. So here's the start of it. So that's day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, day 5, day 6, day 7, day 8, day 9, and day 10. And I've just got 11 and 12 left to do. So as you can see, it's the same idea. It's an asymmetrical triangle. So it's going to fit really, really well. It's a beautiful size. It blocks out beautifully and it's going to be a lovely size. And that is the shawl there. So I've almost finished. I've got 2 more colours to do. I've finished that colour there. So I've just got 2 more colours to pop on the end, and then that will be done. And that's going to go really quickly because it's just garter. It's just garter with decreases. So yeah, it's a really, really fun pattern. Beautiful yarn by Bella. It's been really, really fun to collaborate with her and to knit that up. And I'm really excited to see all of the people that get Bella's Advent knitting up the pattern, but also anyone else that wants to buy the pattern and knit it up in December. I think I'm probably going to knit another one in some other yarn that I've got as well, so it would be really fun to knit along with you. So keep an eye out for my Instagram. I might whip up a quick knit along for December, depending on how much time I have. But yeah, so that's the Outback Christmas shawl, and that is available right now for you to go and purchase. So go check it out if you've got some yarn advent that you're wanting to knit up, or you've got minis that you want to use, or you just want to have a really relaxing, fun shawl project for December. This is definitely the one. So that is my second work in progress. Okay, so I'll show you a few acquisitions that I got since the last episode, and then we're going to go downstairs and we're going to check out my yarn advents that I've got for this year as a bit of a sneaky peek. So let's do that. So firstly, what have I acquired since the last episode? So as I said, I got the Ash and Eve Designs Knit for the Girls fundraising bundle, which consisted of this really fun project bag. And this was made by Susan's sister, who has the business Keep Your Knit Together. I think that's right. So go check her out on Instagram. She has great project bags. If it's wrong, I'll pop the name here. But with that came my own bundle of the pink yarn and some fun needle toppers and the badge and the stitch markers and some hand balm, lanolin hand balm. That's it there. So yeah, a really beautiful bundle of pink deliciousness that is for a good cause. So lots of the proceeds of these things went to the fundraising, the charity fundraiser. I also, for that fundraiser, got the Hodgepodge Skeins colourway, which Kaz offered out. It's called Women's Body, and isn't that just beautiful colourway? I could not resist, and I was thinking I could use this in my slip stravaganza. So we'll see what other colours I can pull together for that. I also, since the last episode, got Ash and Eve. Susan released a Rapunzel fade that I absolutely could not resist because it's pinks and purples. And so I got the mini set of the Rapunzel fade, so on the Posh sock base. But look at all those pinks and purples. Aren't they amazing? Maybe I could use them in my slip stravaganza too. Ooh, it's coming together. I can smell a cast on. The other thing, what did we do? Oh, we went to my friend Gayanne and I, so Fibremates on Instagram and on YouTube. We went to a yarn market in a nearby country town that I can't remember the name of, but it was one of the all about yarn and fibre markets in Victoria. And I just got a couple of sneaky things there. So I got this beautiful green colourway from Fluff and Nonsense. So my friend Tess, who was there. And this colourway is Methuselah, and it's the Platinum BFL sock, so 4-ply. But this green is spectacular. And then there was a new yarn dyer that I saw there. So it was Australian Bush Yarns, Beth. So I think she's a young yarn dyer. It's a new business, Australian Bush Yarns. And I got a little mini from her that is absolutely beautiful. So check out the caramel colours with those raspberry and brown kind of tones. I couldn't resist it. It looked like a dessert. So yeah, so I grabbed that from her. So that market was a lot of fun. And then the other thing, I caught up with my friend Emina. Hi Emina, who was down from New South Wales, and Gay and I went out to dinner, and Emina gave me an early Christmas present, a skein of yarn from Skein, and it's the ACM base, which is 38% baby alpaca, 37% Pima cotton, and 25% merino. So it's a fingering weight, but it's, I don't know if you can tell, but it's like a cloud. It's fluffy and delicious. And look at those colors. Oh, it's spectacular. Thank you, Emina. So yeah, it's beautiful. So I'm very excited to find something to knit that up in. So yes, so just a few little sneaky purchases in the last couple of months. I think that's okay. And so why don't we go down and check out my advents now. Okay, we're back and we're downstairs. I thought rather than lugging all of this upstairs, I would just come downstairs where the Christmas tree is and do a little bit of a show and tell, not really an unboxing, so to speak, but a bit of a show and tell so that you know which advents I got this year, because it's almost advent time and it's very exciting. So why don't we start with the first one, which is actually a tea advent. So if you watched my Vlogmas last year, you'll know that I love getting the T2 advent. So I got that again this year. It comes in this really beautiful, beautiful box. I bought all of these advents, by the way. Nothing is gifted, nothing is sponsored. So this is my my one vice. So this is what I do. So yeah, so I bought all of these advents. So this is the T2 advent, which is Cabinet of Curiosity this year. So I'm very much looking forward to all the tea I'll be drinking in December. So that is my tea advent. Let's pop that over there. Now, the rest of the advents are all still wrapped up in their Australia Post bags and boxes. So I thought we'd do a little bit of unboxing. I have scissors. Sorry for the crinkling. So, and I will try and hide my address. So the first one, I got 2 sock advent yarns. One I haven't received yet. So one is from Dizzie Double Yarn. I'm very excited about that one. That's an Australian dyer, Shaz, and very much looking forward to that yarn coming, but it hasn't arrived yet. So when it does arrive, I'll wind that up and that will be something that I knit on in December. That's a fingering weight sock. This is the package from Freckled Whimsy. So this is the only international yarn advent item that I've purchased. I buy this every year because I absolutely love Freckled Whimsy self-striping yarn, and I really, really love her advent colours. So this is the package for that. So let's open it up. It'll be funny if I open things and they're not right and I'm doing that on the video, but anyway, I'm sure it will be fine. Okay, so these scissors are less than ideal. Okay, so I'm not going to show the actual yarn, so I'm not going to spoil anything for anyone, but if you have these advents and you don't even want to see the wrapping, look away for those particular ones, basically. But this is how the Freckled Whimsy advent comes. So it comes with the skein wrapped up so that you can't see the colours. It comes with the contrast colour that I have ordered to go with it, and it comes with the instructions as to what to do and how to start, all that kind of thing. So what one thing I did differently for this advent from the last few years, so I have got this, I think this is my 4th year of getting this advent. All the other ones I got were fingering weight. This year I thought I'd give myself a break and I ordered DK. So I am going to make a DK weight advent sock, which will knit up so quickly. I'm really, really looking forward to the treat that will be DK socks. So yeah, very much looking forward to that one. So that is my first sock advent. Let's put that over here. Okay, now we're into the big advents. 1, 2, 3, 4. I have 5. I think that's fewer than last year. So let's start by giving myself a pat on the back. Well done, Kath. So let's just start with the closest one. So let's make sure my address is not showing. So this is the advent from Hodgepodge Skeins. So let's open this up. So all of these advents I purchased because I was very much enticed by the themes that people put out. So I think I recall, let's just look. yes, I recall this advent the theme is birds. So let's put this over here. Okay, so it's come, and I'm not going to open it up, but it's come in this beautiful project bag, which I'm very excited about. It is denim, which I love, 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 love. So already this is spectacular. So Hodgepodge Skeins Birds Advent. First one. What's this one? Oh, okay. So this one is from, it comes in a box. So this one is from Daffodil Road. So Sarah. So I didn't get this advent last year, but I did get it the 2 years prior to that. And when I saw Sarah's theme that she announced on Instagram, I was instantly in, because her theme was musicals. I think musicals. So I love musicals. So Sound of Music, all of those kinds of things, I think was the theme. So if you don't know, I play lots of instruments. Both my parents were music teachers. So at the moment I play mostly the piano, but I've over the years played many, many instruments. I played the flute and the oboe and lots of other things. So the idea of a musical related theme. Okay, that's just my receipt. Pop these over there. So the colour of music. So that is the advent there for Daffodil Road. Very excited. I'm not going to open it up because I don't like to sneak peek and I don't want to spoil it in case there's things that are loose. But that's essentially how this advent comes in a box. So we'll pop that here. Okay, the next one is from, ooh, this one's exciting. So this one comes in a box as well. And this is from a yarn dyer that I have not had an advent from before, but I really, really like her yarn. So this is from Obsession Yarns. So I think her theme this year was synchronicity, and the photo of the inspiration pic for the theme was spectacular. It was sort of stained glass window with lots of bright pinks and turquoises and blues. So this advent doesn't have a box inside it, so it just has things kind of wrapped up. It doesn't show anything, so I'll show you inside. So there's things in there, but they're all wrapped up, but there's no internal box. So I will leave it in this box and pop that to the side. Let's pop this over here. So I'll leave that in the parcel box it came in. So that's Obsession Yarns, Synchronicity. So then this advent is from Susan at Ash and Eve. So Susan's theme I was very excited about. It's going to be really different colors, I think, to others, because the theme was very, very dark and moody, and I think it was Familiar's Apothecary, and so it was very kind of like black cats and bookcases and that kind of thing. So let's just see. Ooh. No pressure opening these things on a video. Yeah. So this one again, take the receipt out. This one again just is in the box. There's actually a box in there. There's actually a box in there. So the Familiar's Apothecary, very exciting. And there's another little sneaky sneaky gift that I think was an add-on that I added on. So I'll leave that one in the box as well, because there's things that came outside. So that was Ash and Eve. And then the final one is from, make sure I don't show my, this is from Vanessa at My Creative Garage. So Vanessa's advent last year was sensational. Absolutely beautiful, right up my alley. And her theme this year was really different, but to last year, which is great, but also really, really beautiful. So it was like a really nice cabin in a sort of snowscape, and I was really enticed by it. Let's see if I can get this open. Whilst trying not to cut myself. This one will be a good one to show actually, because this one, so it doesn't come in a separate box, but what it does have is it shows you actually what a lot of the advents look like, which is they come with all of the little mini skeins wrapped in individual bags or wrapped up individually, and then you just pull out each of the bags one by one, and they tend to have numbers on them so that you know which number to open when. So yeah, so that's the My Creative Garage advent. So those are my advents for 2025. It's very exciting. I did also, I did do a sneaky purchase of another advent related item, but it's a Christmas Eve box. So I didn't get the Louie and Lola advent this year, so I've gotten that the last, I think, 3 years, and it's always beautiful, but I wanted to sort of try some others. But what I did get was Karina put out a Louie and Lola Christmas morning advent box, and it had beautiful dash hounds on the picture, Louie and Lola, and I was entranced to buy it. So I got that as well. So, but I assume that will be coming closer to Christmas Eve. So yeah, so I don't know whether I'll be doing Vlogmas this year. If I do some videos, it certainly won't be every day because I'm just so incredibly busy this year. Last year was busy, but this year I already know it's going to be busy because I'm doing that course and I've got assessments. So I'm just not going to have time to do daily videos, which it was fun to do, but it was a lot of work. But I thought what I could probably do 1 or 2 videos a week, so that I can show you as I open my advents and show you what I'm making with my yarn throughout December, if that is of interest. So let me know if you'd be interested in that. Otherwise, thank you for joining me today. It's been a lot of fun sharing all those things with you, and I hope to see you in the next video. Don't forget to comment to enter the giveaway. So if you're still here, maybe leave me a little Christmas tree emoji, and I'll know that you've watched to the end. But thank you very much for watching, and happy knitting. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.